Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I know I'm a little bit late making this video. This is the Piper Aerostar 600 A2A. Now we did have an A2A Comanche. The A2A is the developer of this aircraft. They make pretty beautiful aircrafts, really realistic. In 2020, they made the Comanche 250, which was a beautiful plane that I enjoyed flying. It's probably one of the best general aviation aircrafts to date in 2020. Now we have this beautiful Aerostar 600 that they developed. This is an early access, so there's only one livery and one variant as of now. So keep that in mind. The range of this, they say, is 1,400 miles, a cruising speed of 190 knots. On the stats in real world, they say the range is 1,178 knots. Now, I saw this aircraft in real life in Florida on the ground, and I did a walk around and everything. I had a video of that. I might have to see if I can find that and post it up for y'all. But it is a beautiful aircraft. I really enjoyed taking a look at it in person. There's something about it. It looks like a flying boat, in my opinion. Where is the airport? We can't find the airport. Why is it not showing me the airport? Oh, here it is. We found it. The cloud coverage today is no joke. It is rainy over here, and we'll have to do something about that. In the meantime, we'll put ourselves cold and dark in one of these spots so I can show you this aircraft. So, the engine is there's two light Coleman IO 540-K1J5 with 290 horsepower each. Seating seats 1 to 2 pilots and 6 passengers, or 5 passengers with 2 pilots. The gross weight of this aircraft is 6,000 pounds, which is pretty heavy for a general aviation aircraft without fuel, right? Now, let me just take a look at this while we keep going over the stats. I'm probably going to wind up hitting that stuff, but that's all right. It's pretty cool. They do have a walk around feature in the tablet too. It's pretty standard A2A, but they integrated their systems in 2024 in it. You can do all that, touch the different features, and I don't know if the tie down. Yeah, this used to work by just clicking it. Oh yeah, it does. Still works by clicking it. So this aircraft here, besides the weight of it, let's see. So the empty weight is 3,737 pounds. The fuel capacity is 165 gallons in this aircraft. I think it has a center tank and 2 wing tanks. Max speed 302 miles an hour, which is pretty fast for a dual, like a turboprop. Or actually, I don't know if this is a turbo. I think they are turboprop engines. Or they might not be. I'm not sure. Anybody know, let me know in the comments. Max speed, we went over that. Cruising speed normally is 269 miles an hour. Range 1,178 miles. Takeoff distance is 2,490 feet. Landing distance 2,030 feet. It has a service ceiling of 30,000 feet. I did climb this up to about 13,000 feet yesterday, and it did okay. But I wouldn't recommend flying at that altitude. It seems like it slows down tremendously. Tremendously. All right, put that down. Here, we're inside. I'll show you. There's a tablet, which is right in front of me. Okay, so this has the integration of like 2024 for the regular stuff, and then if you go to A2A, this is their interface tablet here, so you can do an inspection. It also, I love this about it, it shows you the barometric pressure, the visibility in the area, the temperature, and precipitation. You also have the wind direction of the aircraft, where it's facing, and also the knots, which is pretty nice, man. This really comes in handy, especially on landing with smaller general aviation aircrafts. Over here in the tablet, you have the 450. You can change out the 530, the dual, which is nice, a little touch there, and the 750. So many different options. You could do auto start, cold and dark, totally up to you what you prefer. This is also a little panel for autopilot if you didn't want to use the autopilot inside the aircraft. So they have an autopilot down here in the center console. So totally up to you which way you prefer. This is how you fuel the plane. You can just click on these things to take fuel out or put fuel in, depending on what you feel like doing there. And that will move your center of gravity. So totally up to you how you would like to fly this plane, and what you will want. Now, maintenance is pretty cool feature here. You can do an inspection for the engine. Everything's in green. You're good to go. The same with this. If you want to overhaul the engines for a startup, you can. You could just click this and hit yes, and then it overhauls the engine. This is your battery. You can do an overhaul with that too if you want, just to clean it up whenever you're ready. If you use the battery often or whatever. You can also set it for new, used, or whatever that one is. And then the airframe. Airframe inspection is usually like the walk around. See all these little features. If any of these are in red, it's because you need to replace it or something's broken with those pieces. One thing I did learn about this aircraft by flying it is, let's put the tablet away, get this thing started, take off the yoke. We'll put the navigational light on, battery coming on, and then we'll go ahead and turn these switches. Fuel pumps on, put this on, boost pump, boost pump. We're going to get this bad boy started here. Oh, it does have click features too if you want to open the door or whatever. But you do not want to have this door open, by the way, with the engine started, because the engine is right next to the door. That would not be a fun thing to do. Alright, let's see here. Put that away, and we are going to start this bad boy up before we kill the battery. Put the Avionics. Now, it takes a minute for the engines to kick over, which is pretty interesting. It's a lot different than some of the other ones. Sometimes I was able to get this to start, and sometimes it won't. You kind of have to play with the mixture. And sometimes it doesn't want to work at all. I probably broke the engines at this point. I gotta click. Let's see. Yeah, I could hear the engines are not doing too good here. I think I'm seized them up. Look, we have a low volt, so that's why we're having an issue right now. Hear it? That's tough. It won't. It doesn't want to start. So there's another engine on that side too. But that's all right, because we can just stop that for a second, and we'll overhaul the engine so we don't bust them up too bad here. Alright, and what we'll do is go into auto start. Now this is a rowdy aircraft. Alright. So, we're going to taxi out to the runway and take it for a spin. It does have a feature for headphones. I don't know, there's a headphone feature somewhere in here. I forget where the headphone feature is, but it's pretty cool. I'll take it for a little bit of a spin real quick here. So the engine itself is not bad for the run-up. If you look over here, it's very responsive. That's the propellers coming out. For 50 bucks, it's a really good aircraft system-wise. And I expect it to get better because A2A is a very good developer. But it is early access, so we'll see how that goes. Now, the flaps are unusual. There's actually a neutral position here. So once you put the flaps up or down, you put it back in the neutral position, which is kind of a strange feature. But I broke the flaps. You can break the flaps, so be careful with the flaps. And once you bring them back up, put that thing in neutral, or you will break your flaps. All right, here we go. This is a very quick takeoff. It's like the fastest aircraft in 2024 as far as rollout. Very wobbly there. A lot of rudder play. I like the way it feels. You really gotta get on it to make sure that you're not screwing it up. So let's get a gear up. Flap up. And then we put this back to neutral. There we go. I found the headset thing. I forgot it's clickable. Alright. It's a really nice aircraft. It definitely needs a little work, but the sounds are really good. Let's see how fast this thing can climb. You can break this thing relatively easy, so let me see if I can do a climb and see how this thing handles real quick. There's 2,000 feet. I love it. So far, it's not a bad aircraft. It is early access, so there's probably updates to be made. It is for 50 bucks as of now. It's definitely a good aircraft. I think it's going to be worth $50 once they fix everything. But it's beautiful. I really can't complain about it. Also, I had a discount from buying the other aircraft, the A2A Comanche. So that is something to keep in mind. That was a stall that I just did power on. If you guys have the Comanche, you might get a discount. I paid $43 for my aircraft that I'm flying right here, the Aerostar. I would like to see if this actually could get up to 30,000 feet. Also, I'm curious, I'm pretty sure these are turboprop engines, but there's no pressurization in here, so I don't know why or how you would get up to 30,000 feet with an aircraft like this with no oxygen, you know? I don't think there's a pressurization system in here. So this is more of like, you want to fly probably like 8,000 feet. 8,000 feet, it was actually doing really well. About almost 200 knots, good cruise speed, everything was good. And the cool thing about this, like I said, is this little tablet. You can put it on wind and see the direction of wind. A little bit easier than going to look for it yourself. You kind of get a better idea quicker. I want to keep near the airport so I don't lose it. So we could try landing. So let's go ahead and do a power off stall here. And then we're going to do one test with the engine. I'm going to kill one of the engines and see what it does for performance with that. There we go. We got a nose drop. It's just dropping. There we go. All right. And now almost entered a spin there. All right. Power coming back in. And it's very, very responsive. Like, very... You see how quick it is to respond? It sounds like a little honeybee, this baby. It's awesome, dude. Also, you have to work with the mixture, too, with this aircraft. So it's a really fun one to fly, man. I would love to go for a good flight with this aircraft. It's really, really nice. Very cool. I'm looking forward to see other liveries with this aircraft. The attention to detail inside and out is pretty. Let's just take a look. As you can see here, a bunch of beautiful seats in here. And I don't know, that's pretty much it for that. But not bad. And I love these big windows up here. You got a temperature gauge there too. Oh boy, maybe I should try flying. So definitely got to be careful. Look, you can see the temperature gauge right there. And if you run your mouse over anything, it will tell you what it is, which is really nice. You do have your VOR and all that stuff. VOR 1 and heading. Autopilot does work in this. So you do have, let's say, heading mode. There we go. Autopilot is on. And it is working. Look, I'm turning to the right here. It's working perfectly. I love it. I think it's a really good, solid aircraft. Love the animation, love the sound, love the flight characteristics. It's a little bit shake and bake on the runway. A2A does that, though, and I think it makes it a little bit more realistic. It almost feels like you're flying in X-Plane with the aircraft that they design sometimes, because the way it feels, it's very, very, like, you got to really work with the aircraft. It's not as stiff as some of the other aircrafts. So it's a whole different feeling than the normal aircrafts you would get in 2024, like the standard ones that are kind of solid. They stay on the ground. They don't really move around. This one is like a little bit shake and bake, and the speed of the aircraft feels more realistic landing and taking off. So it's something to keep in mind. If you're a beginner, this may be a little bit more challenging for you. But it's still a beautiful aircraft. And we can take a look at it in the dark as well real quick here. So I'll show you the lighting. The lighting is in the center here. This little knob, you just turn that, and then you can put this down. You got a little bit of red lighting. It's okay. The lighting is not bad. I think they could do a little bit better with the lighting. You know, it's not the worst, it's not the best. This is the panel lighting at night. Looks beautiful. The lighting on the outside of the aircraft is beautiful too, though. And that's your landing lights. The landing lights you could really see through the fog in the nighttime, which are really, really nice to have, that they're bright. I love the lighting. Inside and out, the lighting is really good. I would say outside lighting is better than inside lighting, but it doesn't look bad. I mean, you could definitely fly this thing at night and have no issues. All right, let's go back to daytime, and then we'll kill one of the engines. All right, so we're gonna cut one of the engines out here and see how that goes. And we'll try to feather the prop. Oops. Okay. Alright. Now we just have one engine here. Still flying relatively nice. I mean, you can feel the weight of the engine there. Died out. Not bad, though. Not bad at all. Alright. Let's start that engine back up here. If we can. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We might have to get out this thing and overhaul the engine. still good. All right, cool. All right, there we go. Back to normal. We got both engines. So let's try a landing. You can feather it. It does feel pretty good. Now, the landing might be a little bit challenging because I have to make sure I don't screw up the flaps. I'm going to put the prop back up here, try to start slowing us. Alright. When we get closer, I'm going to put the flap in. I don't want to break it right away here. Here we go. Flap coming in. I mean, it does feel good. Like, you really got to work with this plane. It doesn't let you just fly it, and it's simple. You got to really work this plane. So, I like that about it. Really nice. Here's the runway. And I don't know what the correct speed is, but I know that, let me get a gear animation coming down here. I like the gear animation too. I don't know if we're supposed to put this back in the neutral position on landing or not. Alright. Let's make sure that I don't crash. See, we're getting a little bit in the red there with the flaps down, so I like this plane though. This is a really fun one. Like, if you really want a challenging plane to maintain the mixture and the speed and all that stuff and the feel of it, this is really, really good one. Really good. A lot more challenging than I'm used to. Let's see what we could do here. I was dropping a little bit too much there. Oh. Let it roll out here. Yeah, you really gotta use the pedals to keep it on center line too. But overall, it's not bad. The sounds, the quality, it's pretty loud even with the headphones in. All you gotta do is press this little button there. Alright, let's put the flap up. Last time I broke the flaps. This time, the animation of the flaps are pretty good too. I actually didn't break the flap this time, which is nice. I gotta check the flap speeds and everything because that's important in this aircraft. All aircrafts, but in this one in particular, because it will break the actual plane. I did that the other day. I actually broke the flaps by overspeeding. So you do not want to put the flaps down until you're at the right airspeed, otherwise they will break and you will have a problem landing. So there's the Aerostar A2A, a quick overview of it, and nothing too crazy. Let's go ahead and put the parking brake on. By the way, the parking brake is right down here in the corner if you guys need it. And then you just click on this to take the headphones off and on. And let's get a shutdown. It's not a bad aircraft. I like it. I think it's definitely for early access. It's really good and solid so far, so you could definitely do some good flights with it. I'm sure it needs some work. However, don't we all? You know what I mean? It's beautiful. Definitely love this plane. It does have a walk-around feature too, just like the older one. So just keep that in mind. You know, it has all the same features that the Comanche had, including the walk-around. I don't know exactly where the walk-around is. It's somewhere in here, but it's there. I've seen it. I just can't find it right now. But that's the A2A Comanche. Aerostar 600. I highly recommend it. It's going to be definitely a beautiful aircraft. Let's get a look at this baby without all this cloud coverage. Let me see if I can just turn that off. Put the daytime on there for you. Not bad. Good looking aircraft. Is that real weather still on? I don't know why the weather still looks crappy even. Oh, there it goes. Okay. That's better. What the? The weather's going crazy anyway. There it is. The A2A. That is the Aerostar. Beautiful aircraft. I highly recommend it. If we could get some better weather, that would be nice too. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.